Oh my God, she's behind you and she looks so good behind. I mean, you look fantastic. But I have,
Oh, thank
can I
you
take a
so
picture of
much.
you? Because nobody's
Oh,
had her
sure.
in the, wait, I have to do this because this looks so cool.
Oh,
Oh
thank
my
you so much.
gosh. Okay.
Hi.
Great. So awesome. Hi.
Hi, Nika. So good to meet you. My name is Jorgie. I'm with POC Culture.
Hi,
Um,
Georgie.
Hi, I love Asajj Ventress. I remember going to watch the Clone Wars in theaters when I was like 7 or 8 years old after soccer practice with my mom. So she's just
Oh,
as iconic to me as like the Darth Vader, the Princess Leia, just Ventress is everything. So
thank
first off,
you.
yeah, of course. So I've heard you talk about being into poker. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think about Ventress playing Sabak? What do you think her playstyle would be like?
Ooh, her playing poker?
Hmm.
Gosh. I actually, you know, that's so weird that I've never actually thought about Asajj playing poker, which Asajj is so much a part of my life, and poker is so much a part of my life. And that is really crazy. I should somehow, jo- thank you for that. Even though I'm circa 1973 and I'm never online and I never do any videos, I should do poker videos with Asajj. She'd be a
Oh,
killer
that'd be cool.
poker player.
You
First of all,
should.
she
You
never
can.
gives anything away.
Okay,
Never,
for sure.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's very good at hiding things.
She is.
And then she'll come out for the kill.
Yeah,
All the
exactly.
things you need in poker.
Yeah, I love it. I'm glad that I brought this out.
You
I got to
inspired
help
me.
you discover it. Oh, that's awesome. And speaking of, Ventures being such a big part of your life, you've played her for so many episodes. Like you are Ventress, but are
Yeah.
there any ways that Ventress has become you? Has there anything you've taken away from the character?
Well, I mean, she definitely has I look, I mean, we're very different. You know, I'm a tree hugger, but I like to channel her badassery. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And her fearlessness. And so I think that there's that part of us that I connect on. And now where she's going, I feel like this is where her and I are becoming more alike. A protector, a using her powers for good. And I think that when she was young that would be the trajectory she would have had, but because of her history and because of all the terrible things that she endured, um, that to save herself and save her being, she became a darker creature. Um, so I think now with the new storyline and with the book and with her connection to love and all of those things, I think that where I connected with her before because we just became one, now I feel like there are all these things that I can relate to even more than I did before. You know,
Yeah, that's
now that
beautiful.
she's finding the lovey part of herself, very uncomfortably, but doing it nonetheless.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you brought up the book because Dark Disciple broke my heart as a teenager. Love that book so much. But, going on that, off of that, there is so much story you didn't get to finish telling with the Clone
Right.
Wars, but then you got to bring her back in Bad Batch and now with this. So what does it mean to you to get to, as you said, explore those unanswered questions? When you did Bad Batch, did you know that this series was coming?
They didn't tell me till I did Bad Batch that they wanted to do this because it was like appetizer, entree, and then hopefully a dessert in the future.
Okay.
So we're just trying to see like where this would go, and I guess it really hopefully all depends on, fans loving it and where we can keep telling more stories about her. I'm hoping. But, as in all of the Star Wars universe, those of us in it are also kept in the dark. It's very top secret. And
Right.
so a lot of times I never know what's going on. Even when I was doing the Clone Wars, you would get the script like a day before. So everything's kind of kept secret. So it's kind of it's as exciting for me as it is for everybody else. I'm hoping that they decide that she's worthy and that I'm worthy of continuing this journey of telling her story. Because I feel like I was really bummed out when the Clone Wars ended because we had just started her new trajectory of bounty hunting and what that would bring in her life and all of the adventures that that would bring. And now that we have, and then the book happened, and now that we have this whole new storyline of love and uh, an Asajj that is not just thinking about herself.
Yeah, totally.
Exciting.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned I wanted to talk about, working on this series a little bit because you talked about how in animation the recording sessions can be a lot quicker, like can be like 10 minutes for an episode and whatnot.
Yeah,
So for a streamer like this like short form, was it
yeah.
even shorter than those 10 minutes? How was the process?
Well, no, you mean the episodes that we did for this?
Yeah.
No, it you well, everything's changed since COVID. A lot of times when you record a show, you record by yourself and you record in your own home studio. But Dave, he doesn't like to work like that. He likes everyone working together, which I love because you get to work off of each other. So even the other lead in this little part of the series that, I'm in partnership with in the show, he would fly in so we could record together.
Oh,
And
cool.
it's lovely because you get that real connection. So it would take longer. And then also I always like to say that Dave is a very he thinks long and hard about every aspect of everything. And so he'll spend the first, hour talking about what's happening, getting you into the
Yeah.
vibe. So it's never like other shows that I do where I can literally do a whole session in 10 minutes.
Yeah,
With
that
him,
makes sense.
he paints the canvas for an hour and then you go into it. So yeah,
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to meet you, and you definitely are worthy. I've been watching her since I was a little kid. I hope to see more of you,
thank
and
you so
congratulations on
much.
the series.